Don't follow the news, follow the big money. Hey, I am Luke Downey, co-founder of MAPsignals, and we just follow the big money. We really believe that data is beautiful, especially stock market data. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you two of our most powerful modules in our portal, right? Because that's what we are. We are a software business that follows the big money just to make you a better investor. So if you're joining us via YouTube and you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Show us some love. So today I'm going to be going through two of our modules that are part of our portal. And these are available to all subscription levels. So that means if you're silver, if you're gold, if you're platinum, this is where it all begins. And like magic, I'm going to share my screen. So the first module that we're going to be looking at is where everything starts, and that is the big money charts. Okay, so we've got a couple of charts here. We got big money index, big money stock buys and sells, big money ETF buys and sells, and then we got the big money trading activity. So look, if you are new to MAPsignals, you don't understand what is big money. Well, we're going to go over it right now. And what you're looking at right here is the big money index, and that is this blue line here. And what's really cool about this is when money is going into stocks in a big way, the big money index is ramping higher. Typically, you see the market follow that activity. When selling is really big, you tend to see it start before the market begins falling. Then we get oversold, right? That's that green level right here. It's a very big buy signal. Same thing when we get overbought. Typically the market is overheated. Eventually all that buying is going to slow and then the market begins to fall. And you can change this, you can make it 1 year, 2 year, you can go all the way back to 1990 if you want. But let's look at a 6-month chart. This is kind of the level view that I like to look at. And you can see here that there was some selling earlier in the year. This prefaced a big pullback in the S&P 500. We're looking at the SPY ETF. Then you can see here, there was a pullback in the BMI chop city over here for the SPY, and then eventually the BMI started to ramp. And then what do you see? The market clearly went into risk off mode. Now you start to see the BMI has been weak. It's starting to fall, but wait a minute. The S&P is going up while the BMI is going lower. What's that all about? Well, over here, we've got 4 ETFs that you can map the data to. Let's look at small caps, and it's going to tell a completely different story. And as you can see, the IWM has been falling like a rock, just in line with the BMI. So keep that in mind, that we are looking at all stocks getting bought and sold. It's about 1,500 stocks. That includes small caps, mid caps, mega caps, you name it. But right now, the data is very correlated to small caps. So you want to be checking these 4 ETFs. So whichever ETF you select, it is going to populate these charts as well. And so under the surface of the big money index are the big money stock buys and sells. So you want to know why the BMI is going lower? Well, there's a lot of selling that's going on, right? Now, these big red bars, those are selling of stocks. These big blue bars, that's buying in stocks. What's cool about this chart is you can start to see the flow of money into the market. And when there is immense selling, big red bars, we tend to bounce shortly after. These are really good opportunistic times to be looking to deploy risk. You can see that over here, we have these big red signals soon after the market bounced, right? Same thing whenever we get these big buy signals, right? Lots of buying, right? People are late to the boat. Mama's buying, sister's buying, brother's buying. Typically, not always, you start to see a pullback in stocks. So this is a very cool chart. Very choppy right now, but sometimes we get in these periods where there's a lot of buying that lasts for a while, turns to selling, So look for these peaks in buying and selling for some clues. Scroll down really quickly, you see the same type of activity that happens in ETFs, right? You go back to the pandemic, look how big the selling was. Insane, it was crazy, right? So even though you see some selling today and it's like, oh, this is a lot and it's painful, compared to the pandemic, it's nothing. Let's go ahead and just do a little zoom in. You start to see the same thing with stocks as you do with ETFs. When there's big selling, we tend to be at lows. And when there's big buying, we tend to be at peaks. one last chart for this module, and this is the big money trading activity. So this is not looking at buys and sells. This is really just looking at how many stocks are trading in a big way. And why is that important? Because when there's a lot of selling going on in stocks and you see a lot of trading going on in stocks, typically that is a great buy signal. Now, obviously, if we're facing a pandemic and you've got weeks of immense trading like that, obviously that can tell you something different. But in general, when you start to see big trading alongside big selling, you probably want to be getting your big buy tickets out. That's what we do. So that is your big money charts module. I feel like it's important. Let's just take a break right now. Breathe in. That was really cool. And just remember, we're going to continue to be investing into the portal because we believe this is the future of MAPsignals. This is the future of the stock market. It's going to be data. We are going to be all over it. So that is your first module to look at. Let's go over the second one. And that is none other than the sector charts. So again, silver, gold, platinum, you get sector charts. So just like whenever we saw the big buying in stocks and selling in stocks, you can now do it by sector. Why would you want to do it by sector? Well, because we have some portfolio managers that focus on certain sectors. So I'm looking at discretionary right now, and these are all of the stocks that are in the discretionary sector. And what do you start to see? You start to see whenever there's big selling, we tend to be near lows. When there's big buying, we tend to be near highs. And then you can see that there's two moving averages. The top one, that's tracking the level of buys. And the bottom one, that is tracking the level of sells on a 5-week moving average. Let's go to energy. This is really cool, right? Because energy was like left for dead, but then all of a sudden it started getting big money love again, right? It's been on fire. Then you start to see selling, right? So if you're a trader, listen, this might make sense for you. Look, immense buying. When you start to see it slow, you don't see the sector going up again, right? It starts to chop, start to see some selling. Let's look at one more sector. Let's look at what? Technology. Again, same type of thing, right? You start to see big buying, right? Might be unsustainable, right? Might be due for a quick little pullback. Get these big red signals. Oftentimes, it's a great time to go fishing for great stocks. Now, again, you are going to be able to export these charts by PNG. So if you're an RIA, hedge fund, or just a retail investor that just loves stocks, this is some really cool data. It's going to make you a better investor. It's going to help you teach others about the stock market, how it really works. It doesn't move by headlines. It actually moves by the big money. We'll see you next time.